Hey there, colleague. How are you doing? Hope that you're doing well. What's the hardest thing that you can get your students to do? That's what I want you to think about today. And believe it or not, trying to get your students to do the hardest possible thing that you can think of for them to do is a great way to make them more motivated in your class. I don't like that language, make them more motivated. It's a great way to cultivate more motivation in your classroom, okay? Because you can't make someone be motivated. I mean, you can coerce them to do stuff, but you can't make actual motivation take place. Actual motivation is a belief thing, and so helping folks to believe stuff can't be done through like force or coercion. You've got to cultivate belief. So in my classroom, there's this little do hard things poster. Oh, that's embarrassing. Wow. Hey, Dave, do a hard thing and fix your poster. And that's like not my catchphrase. I took it from a book by two homeschooled twins in Oregon, I think, the Harris twins. And basically their big argument in the book is that teenagers should be incensed that people have such low expectations for them. Outraged that a good teenager is just somebody who like doesn't do narcotics and makes their bed. They're like, this is ridiculous. Teenagers back 200 years ago were like starting families, exploring the wilds, going on vision quests in the desert, and now we're just making our beds. So working with adolescents, I find it's actually really helpful to get them to be a little bit irritated that people have such low expectations for them. But it's one thing to talk about that, and it's another thing to actually prove to them through your excellent teaching, your thoughtful teaching, your teaching towards something really hard, proving to them that they can succeed at hard things. So my question to you is, again, what is the hardest thing that you could ask students to do in your room? Maybe it's the presidential fitness test in physical education, lab report in biology or science fair, or scoring something on an AP test, or getting their IB diploma, or creating a service learning project, or coding an app, or doing NaNoWriMo. I don't know what the thing is for your class, but couple of guidelines. Think about something that's related to your curriculum. We don't want to add stuff to our curriculum. That's one of the ways that us teachers are super good at stressing ourselves out more than we need to be. But I always say that we can enhance our curriculum by making the objectives that we're after with students extra clear and have extra stakes attached. So for example, nowhere in my curriculum does it call for students to do a lot of public speaking, but I do have my students do a lot of public speaking through the method that I write about a lot called pop-up debate or pop-up discussion. Many of my students, probably like many of yours, are anxious about speaking in front of their peers. After the first pop-up debate of the year, which we always hold in week 4 of the school year, I always ask my students right when we're done, hey, raise your hand if you felt at least 1% nervous. And inevitably, more than half the hands in the class go up. And I ask my students to look around and I say, I hope that you realize something. The people who aren't nervous about public speaking, those are the weird ones. Like, those guys are the oddballs. You know, we have a chuckle about that, but what I've just done is planted the idea that every single time that we have a discussion in this class, we are doing something that is difficult. And I'm not shy about saying to my students that it's not normal for students to be regularly expected to contribute to whole class discussions and debates. I want them to have a sense of pride in doing this hard thing. But notice how this is not like an add-on to my curriculum. It's not some big elaborate project. It's something that I can use pretty flexibly. It'll take about a half hour once we get really good at it. So it's not no time, but it's not like a whole lesson either. And I can use this for content review, for processing a reading, for preparing for a writing. And I can go at all these different skills that I want my students to get good at, like speech delivery, speech organization, communication, listening, all those things I can do inside of pop-up debate. But what I'm saying is, from a motivational standpoint, it's so valuable because it's also something that's really hard for students at the beginning of the year. And as they get better and better at it, each of them on their own little skill progression, gosh, do they start to take a sense of pride in it, and they begin to feel a sense of efficacy. They begin to believe I can succeed at difficult things that don't immediately seem succeedable. So I hope that just helps illustrate how the efficacy belief works, because gosh, when it's activated in our classrooms are just a lot more fun for everyone to be involved in, and they produce better results. Hey, if you want more videos like this, click subscribe, like it if you liked it. I mean, that's what it's for. And I've got a bunch more stuff about student motivation in my newsletter below, my course, so check that out too. All right, take care of yourself, and remember, every day you're doing a hard thing, and that hard thing is called educating young people.